Do you sometimes wish that your relationship still had that wonderful sizzle that it had in the beginning? Does it seem like those initial deep feelings of love and connection have somehow faded over time? If you'd like to get that yummy feeling back again, and maybe in certain ways have it be more than it ever was, you've come to the right place. That's what this app is designed to help you accomplish. That's something that hasn't been easy to do in the past. For most people, it hasn't even been possible. But new insights and the new technology of this app now make it both possible and much easier than you would think. You still have to use the app and do the work that needs to be done to clean up your inner emotional landscape. But you'll see how much it improves your relationship, so much more than before. You'll be so glad you found this app. And you're going to feel so much better about yourself and your partner that you'll be eager to continue using the app until your relationship becomes truly extraordinary. One of the main keys to having a really great relationship is to not have any residual resentments with your partner. Unresolved resentments are probably the biggest killer of relationships. Some people know how to stay present and work through issues so that they don't accumulate resentments. But for many people, the inability to resolve resentments undermines their relationship. As you accumulate more and more resentments, they start to degrade the feeling level of your relationship. Your unresolved resentment pile can start to become like the Great Wall of China between you and your feeling of connection and affinity with your partner. Even if you know the importance of not accumulating resentments, and you've become good at not letting them pile up, you might have some resentments toward other previous partners, or certainly toward your parents, that are still unresolved, and you may not know how to get rid of them. If you want to make sure that you don't have any residual resentments that could interfere with the optimal quality of your relationship, get and use this app. With the Vaporize Your Resentments app, you can make sure that you are resentment-free. If you don't yet know how to resolve unresolved resentments, you're in luck, because that's exactly what this app is going to guide you how to do. Here's how it works. When something happens that you don't expect, it's common to get upset that things didn't go the way you wanted. You might feel hurt, angry, disappointed, sad, or frustrated. Sometimes you might think that you already got over it, but many times you continue to hold on to the emotional reaction long after the events that caused the reaction are over. Sometimes this can be resolved by talking things over with your partner, but sometimes even talking it over doesn't completely resolve your emotional reaction. Now there's a new way of resolving these kinds of emotional reactions so that they are really gone for good. The reason why some of your resentments sometimes stay unresolved is because you haven't learned how to thoroughly get rid of what are called reactive emotions. Emotions have both content and energy. Here are some new insights about the types of emotions so you can understand how it works. Basically, we have two main types of emotions, those that are useful and those that are not useful. The useful ones can be energizing and empowering. Those are emotions like love, compassion, happiness, joy. But even fear can be useful. Under the right circumstances, fear can protect us from harm. But most emotions are not useful and unresolved. They can be disruptive and depleting. Some of the not useful emotions are a kind I call painful or internal. These are emotions like trauma, emotional pain, heartbreak, resentment, grief. And this whole category of painful emotions have an energy that feels like it's inside of you. We have one technique for resolving these kinds of emotions. This is called the in technique. The other main category of unresolved, not useful emotions are called reactive or external. And this category is divided into two subsections. The first one is called upset. This means emotions like anger, disappointment, frustration, sadness, depression. And the second subcategory is called fear. This includes things like worry, fear, anxiety, panic attacks. The energy field of the emotions radiates out from the body and fills up the space around us. We have one technique for resolving all of these kinds of emotional energy fields. It's called the out technique. The insights expressed on this chart provide the framework for finding and resolving any unresolved resentments you may still have inside of you. As you can see, there are two kinds of emotional energy patterns. The painful internal kind that you're going to learn how to handle with the in technique. In technique energy patterns feel localized, like a tight knot or ball of energy inside of you. And the reactive external kind you're going to learn how to handle with the out technique. Out technique energy patterns feel like a cloud or aura that surrounds and engulfs you. The reason that this is important is that how you function in your relationship is determined by three kinds of thoughts. Thoughts from your ego, thoughts from your emotions, and thoughts from your intuition. You may not fully realize it, but many of your thoughts and actions come from the first two categories. That's because these are deep-seated habits that you're so used to that it just feels normal. But ego and emotion-based decisions determine the quality of your relationship. They determine how much you enjoy it and how much you feel the sense of mutual support and love, or the extent to which you don't feel the connection and love anymore. It isn't so much a matter of what happened in the past in your relationship. What's really important is your ability to really get over your emotional reactions to whatever happened. That's going to determine to what extent you feel reconnected with yourself and your partner. You already know what I'm talking about. You know what it's like to make decisions out of anger or fear. That doesn't work very well. Those decisions you usually regret. And when you think you know what you really want, and you become very attached to your expectations, this is your ego controlling your decision-making. Later, you find out that your decisions were not so good. How can you get rid of these unwanted influences that undermine your relationship? You have to learn how to get rid of the true basis of what causes you to have ego and emotion-based thinking and decisions. The influence of any residual resentments, even ones that you have forgotten about, are the real root cause of this. This app is going to teach you how to get rid of those resentments that are at the root of your ego and emotion-based thinking and decisions. Here's the story of how I figured out how to do that. In 1993, I had a bizarre experience of getting shot in the chest by a deranged stranger with a .44 caliber handgun. Miraculously, it didn't kill me, but I had PTSD as a result. But I managed to find a powerful insight that allowed me to completely cure myself of PTSD. Unheard of. When we are little, we all get emotionally overwhelmed many, many times. We hate this. Everybody hates this. And everybody decides to avoid being emotionally overwhelmed as much as possible. The main way that we do that is to suppress the experience of the emotional pain. And this becomes such a deep habit, deep conditioning. We get good at doing this. It becomes our default way of dealing with emotions. This is a setup for being really lousy at resolving emotions. Those suppressed emotions are still inside of you, and without realizing it, they cause your ego and emotion-based thoughts. After curing myself of PTSD, I started to share what I had discovered with my friends. I rapidly learned that the technique could be used for all kinds of emotional issues. You didn't have to have severe trauma in order to benefit from this discovery. So since then, I've been teaching people how to get rid of their emotional pain and how to get rid of the real basis of ego and emotion-based thinking and decisions. I've been doing that now for over 20 years. I've developed 8 different techniques, and you can learn all of them for free on my website. They're called the Pure Awareness Techniques. That's because at the end of each technique, you arrive at the experience of your own awareness without anything occupying it. So the awareness is pure. Over the years, I've used different names for my work: human software engineering, emotional mastery training, and now I call it Inner Greatness Optimizing. And within Inner Greatness Optimizing, we now have this very cool app system that you can use to guide yourself through these amazing techniques at your own pace. I've also developed a number of special programs for helping people resolve specific problems such as reducing the stresses that cause anxiety, depression, nightmares, fibromyalgia, resentments, grief, heartbreak, and stress. You're going to learn 3 of the Pure Awareness techniques. You'll learn a specific one that is called the In technique. This is the first one that I discovered. It's the main one for resolving the unresolved emotional pain that drives your emotion-based thoughts. You probably aren't fully aware that this is happening, but you will see as you start to really get rid of them how liberating it is, and how much clearer and more powerful your thinking becomes. You'll also learn the Out technique. This one is for resolving what are called reactive emotions. These are the energies at the basis of what causes you to become identified with things. These are the true basis of your ego-based thoughts and decisions. The Out technique teaches you how to extract yourself from the energy fields of your identifications and thus get rid of ego-based thinking. You'll also learn the Locate technique. That's for helping you find the energy field of the emotion when it's well hidden due to your long-standing habit of emotional suppression. So you'll be guided through the different steps of using the app to vaporize the energy patterns that cause poor decisions. You'll learn what that really means and how to do it by using the app. There are 2 wonderful things about this program. It really works, and it's free. To have the best possible relationship, you have to have your speech and actions be naturally resentment-free. Thousands of people have learned how to do that. Now you can learn how to do that too. Then you have the possibility to regain that deep feeling of love and connection that seems like it has faded away over time. Click on the link on this page for the App Store for your phone or tablet and start to vaporize your resentments right now.